Hi everybody, Russ on the WESTHAM Network. Hope you are all safe and well. If you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're new around here, as I said, check us out, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Why not become a member? Do all three, the triple threat. Anyway, I hope everyone is safe and well. Monday, weekends go so quickly, don't they? Weekends go so quickly. More importantly, happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. Today, I went to my front door and I just couldn't open it because I lost my keys. Not because of all the Valentine's cards that didn't arrive. But anyway, I'm sure it's a delay. There's something about the, obviously COVID and deliveries and stuff. So I'm sure my stuff will turn up eventually. But anyway, hope everyone is, and obviously my one true love after yesterday is this man. He is my one true love. Unbelievable. The big Craig Dawson. And we'll talk about that. We'll do a debrief. We'll talk about what Moyes said in the post-match interviews. And also we'll do the ratings as we always do the day after each show. In terms of what's coming up this week, I think Stell's doing his the West Ham Weekly tomorrow, I believe. And then on Wednesday night, hopefully we've got Poppy Cleal, who's England Player of the Year. She's Six Nations Player of the Year. She's the all-time Premier League try scorer, and also she was voted World Player of the Year last year as well. So, and more importantly, she's a massive West Ham fan. So we've got Poppy coming on Wednesday. She was also on Question of Sport a couple of weeks ago, in case any of you watch Question of Sports. So that's very, very good. Anyway, so look, we've got the chat here before we crack on. I put the question whether it was a point gained or 2 points lost yesterday, because it's sort of, I felt 50-50 in that, 50-50. So it'd be interesting to see what other people think. PK's good afternoon to you. A good point grabbed for a team that just hasn't been in form. And that's the thing, we are picking up points when we're not playing well. That's a mark of a good team, surely. If Leicester were a top 6 team, point gained. Yeah, I get that. 2 points lost from Samuel. 1 point gained on 2 points lost on paper. 1 gained on performance. Main thing is Man United drew as well. Afternoon, WHU 58. A point gained. Considering some of our established players have not been playing well for a few months. I don't think we've been playing well for a long time as a team, to be honest. Bonnie Hammer, good afternoon to you. Given how terrible we were second half, a good point. Soufal has really gone backwards. We'll talk about Soufal as well. Next 2 games are a must-win, says Father Snowman. Jazza, Russie boy, good to hear you, Jazza. You for ages. Did you see the Super Bowl? As Kendrick Lamar said, it was alright. I saw the halftime show. Woo! Hip hop to the don't stop. It was very good, the halftime show. And usually the halftime show a bit near, but I thought it was really good. You had Dre, you had Snoop, you had Eminem, you had Mary J. Blige. Who else did you have? You had Fiddy as well. Fiddy. I thought it was really, really good actually, and it was all the classics. Not just like their latest songs. It was actually songs that you actually know. So I thought it was quite good. Alfie, good afternoon to you. Anton's in the house. Oyo Savalois, indeed. Gaza, we should have gone for that second goal after going scored. These fans were moaning with these back passes, indeed. Kimbo, good afternoon to you. I'm just going through. We'll catch up later, Russ. Oh, God. It flows. It's half term. Hiya.
Are we going to go?
Mummy's taking you, isn't she? I'm on a call.
Okay.
Love you, bye. There we go. We were lucky to nick a point. Russ, the audio's a bit echoey. Is it still echoey? I do apologise if it is. And now point gain, considering the fact it looked like we were going to get nothing. Trippier is out for 6 weeks. He's broken his metatarsal, so he's not going to be playing in the Newcastle game. What a shame! Because I thought he was outstanding yesterday, I thought, when I watched it. We need all 3 points, said James. Not looking great for fourth now. Pete says Moyes is mad by dropping Johnson. He has done nothing wrong. I think it was a case of got injured and then it just happens, doesn't it? And maybe it might be a case of moving Johnson back for the Newcastle game, particularly with people like St Maximan. We'll talk about Soufal's performance as well. Anton says respect the point. Paul says in context of being a minute away from defeat, it's respect the point indeed. Jazz are 2 huge back-to-back games, home games next. We need to win them both, especially with the big Dick Antonio versus the Willy Bowley derby, which is a massive game in terms of, it certainly is. Oh my God, I can't believe Dawson is currently our second best striker. Bozoku Bozoku. Our fullbacks looked awful yesterday. I think so. David M, most points from losing positions. How about that? Indeed, 13 points, I believe now. Is it 13 or 14 points? We've lost from a winning position. Watching a fruit bowl was more entertaining, says Pete. Lovers in the house, good afternoon to you. Jazz has been very busy, but I'm taking a few days out, and where best to start my day than the West Ham Network. Everyone drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Hashtag Team Fluss. Oi, love the show, but the mic sounds a bit muffly. Really? Let's have a quick look. I can understand why if it is. No, it should be alright. Looks all right to me. Anyway, if it is, I apologise. But if it was, then someone else would mention it as well. Let me put it a little bit this way a bit. There we go. Afternoon, Chris. Hope you're well. Mike is fine. So Dan, there we go. March is make or break month for Darren. FA Cup, 2 legs of the Europa League plus Premier League games. We go out of both cup competitions and find ourselves in 9th by the end of March, says Darren. Ever the optimist. And indeed, actually, I think, isn't it? I think it's now 9 games in 30 odd days now. So there we go. Diop done well, and he came in. He did, particularly also the way he came in as well. We'll talk about that as well in a tick. Good afternoon, James. The quadruple is still on. Antonio must be suffering a carrying injury, so slow and ineffective. Also, while we're here, obviously, happy Valentine's Day to everybody, as I said. Also, welcome to the coaching staff, Wacker. Jimmy Walker, he hasn't been officially announced yet, but he's now taken over the goalkeeping coach for the academy, I want to say. I'll give you the exact, what was it? It'll be announced later on today, I believe, officially, but he is the goalkeeping coach for the academy goalies at West Ham. So great to see, Walker, old Jimmy back in the fold. Obviously Kenny Brown's back in. There's lots of old boys. I love the fact we have all the old boys. It's really, really good. And Jimmy's at every game anyway as an ambassador, so it's great to see. So I just wanted to congratulate Jack. I'm sure he's Walker. I'm sure he's listening. I'm sure he is. Do we ever work out why Yarman was allowed on the bench? He would have got sent off on the under 23s. I think the under 23s count as the full ones. I don't know. What are the chances of Ante never scoring again for this season? Who knows? Toby, yo. Right, let's call back Moyes. Post-match press conference. Now let's go full screen. It's easier. He was asked how valuable could that point be at the end of the season. He said it was a really valuable point. The performance started okay. For 20 to 30 minutes we did okay, but we did not keep it up, and I felt we gave Leicester a bit of a lift with our poor decisions passing and choices of passing, which led to a couple of corner kicks and giving them a chance to put some pressure on. I felt in the main we were dealing with it quite well at the time, and I agree, yeah, we were, but it was cranking up. Myself, Anton and Matt were on the watch along, and it was getting, the momentum was very much in the ascendancy towards the end and of that first half, and then obviously to get the penalty was a right bugger. Do you feel like it was a chance wasted given today after yesterday's result? Obviously Saturday's result, this was yesterday. We were playing a team who have won the FA Cup and who have not long ago been league champions. I think Leicester have been an unbelievable side. There's some great players in their team, so I don't think it's a bad result. We beat Leicester at home and taken a point at Leicester so far. So for us this season to have a return like that from Leicester is a really good points return. Would we like more? Of course, we'd have liked to do. We want to do everything to kick on and do everything that everyone wants us to keep up near the top 4. But already we are doing well, and the players are doing a great job and staying with it, and we are trying to and squeeze every last drop out of them, and we need to improve upon our form, and I think that makes perfect sense. What happened, Zuma, before kickoff, and how impressed were you with Issa Diop? He said, I thought Issa played really, really well and was made aware he had a chance of playing because Kurt was not well last night and was sick during the night. He did not eat with us today and stayed out of the meeting. We did not because we did that not because we were worried just in case it was a COVID symptom and it was sickness, but it was sickness and and just could not make it, and he was really desperate to play. So that's encouraging. It wasn't anything. It wasn't a. It was just he had a dicky tummy by the sounds of it. Diop's been criticised this season, but he responded well with his performance, and Moyes retorted. I think Issa is a really good player. His form has been a bit up and down, but I think there are some reasons for that. We like Issa, we really do. We think Issa has, I was going to say potential, but we feel because he has been here that long, we feel his potential should be out, and he should be showing it and maturing with it. He has a lot of good attributes, and I'm pleased that he did play well. He had a good game, and I could not turn around and fault him too much on anything he did. But as I said, he was made aware there was a good chance that he may have to step in, and he knew that himself from quite early on. So it wasn't he was just thrown in. He wasn't just thrown into the deep end. He was made aware over the weekend that there was a chance that Kurt had a bit of a stomach bug. Asked if Issa is a confidence player. He said, I think everyone needs confidence. All players do when they're not quite on it. But I think what you have to do is find it yourself quite often. Make it happen and find ways of raising your own confidence depending on what position you play. Making a good tackle or a good pass, it builds your confidence. And sometimes as a player, you have to find your own way back to get that back. And I totally agree. And he played a really good game. He said, best game for most of the season, I think, to be honest. He asked, will Zuma be back for the next league game? Obviously, we play Newcastle on Saturday at London Stadium, and he said it was a sickness virus, so I would expect so. It was sickness, so I hope so. So it sounds like that Zuma will be back in. Interesting selection for Moyes now, because obviously both Dawson and Diop played well yesterday, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes and how he goes with it. Can you explain why you took off Vladimir Soufal? And he said, I thought we had real problems in the second half down there, right, left, our right. I think we gave them a lift up in the first half a little bit, but in the second period, they had too much of the ball in that area. We did not deal well enough with it and made the wrong decisions and wrong choices positionally wise. And I needed to try and change the way the game was going on that side of the pitch. And I think it did. Bring on Fredericks. Barnes was getting far too much ball for my liking, and it made a big difference, I thought. Was there any thoughts to take Aaron Cresswell off? And he goes, well, I think Aaron might have come into that category as well. Not a good game for both fullbacks, that's for sure. And finally, was it finally? Let me just check. Yeah, finally, he was asked whether is he hopeful that Bowen gets international recognition. Obviously scored a great goal yesterday, and he said he took his goal brilliantly well from the touchline. It looked like he struck it lovely after a really good run to get in. He had a bad clash of shins early on in the first half, and I think that was why he was limping, a blow to that area, so to speak. He's a good boy, rarely misses training, plays every game, and does great numbers in every game with his running and his effort for us. We are really pleased, and it was a really good goal. He had a chance in the second half that was cut back to him, and he didn't get enough good enough connection, or he might have had a second. He is certainly coming up with the goals for us, and we need him at the moment. Makes perfect sense. I think very sensible. What's the name? Press conference. I mean, by the sounds of it, Zuma had a stomach bug. He warmed up on the pitch, so the assumption was he got up for how he felt, and was sick, wasn't very well. So then Diop came in. It wasn't the last minute selection that we thought was going to be happening, which I thought actually suited Diop, because I thought maybe he had less time to mentally prepare himself, but that didn't happen. So even better play to him, to be honest. So let's see what we've got in the chat, and then we'll go through some ratings. What was just I had a chuckle at the start of the season when someone thought he'd score 15 goals. I think it's Antonio as well, starting well, never going to happen. Good to hear, Gaza. Who needs clappers? Indeed. Zuma mental health issue following the incident. Doesn't sound like it. It was just literally a stomach bug. He was going to be playing, and he obviously got a stomach bug. By the sounds of it, they thought it may have been COVID, so they isolated him just in case, but it was a sickness bug. So that's good to hear on all fronts. Leicester's defence would have crumbled if we had gone for that second goal in the first half after scoring. I totally agree. Lunch for Simon. BLT from the burger man. Is that a lunch punch? Is it? No, No, is it a lunch van, whatever it's called, and a can of Orange Tango. Very good. Manx got Brighton tomorrow. They have. And today, I'd rather have the points and the games in hand, in my opinion. Woods and Shelby to play well against us, and their Roadrunner will have a field day unless we buck our ideas up. Well, obviously they don't have, the. I mean, obviously Trippier's out for 6 weeks now, and that's a huge blow to them because he was massive for them yesterday. He played brilliantly. Great free kick as well. As I said, I've been more worried about Spurs, about Forest, about Wolves rather than Spurs. And actually, you're probably right because, I mean, Conte came out yesterday and said basically it was a really good performance. Like a really good performance. He's like, you lost 2-0 to Wolves, man. But anyway, Wolves are going to be the dark horses, I think. I think they really are. And I'm glad that we've already got points off them this season already. We seem to make a habit of signing players who have a good season then turn to crap. Yeah, maybe. I know, mate. It does seem he's got that in his character. If I had to go to war and had to choose one of them, I'd take Dawson every day. Indeed. The reason why these players are off form is... the reason why these players are off form is our squad is too thin. We know it's too thin. But at the end of the day, there's nothing we can do about that now, is there? There isn't. So, it's about galvanising the squad. It's about men. There's lots of games coming on. Momentum makes a huge difference. If you start winning games, you start picking up points. You're not not losing games. It breeds confidence. It breeds momentum. And as I said, we go into the Newcastle game reasonably confident. We've come back again. And that's what I love about this team. It doesn't give up. Even to the last. I mean, they had a stat. I think we're second now in goals scored in the last quarter of a game, and literally it's like 12. I mean, we've seen winning points gained from losing positions. We're top of the league in that as well. There's a reason for that, and it's because of David Moyes and the fitness of the players. I mean, the fact is they keep scoring goals late on, so there's a fitness level there, and we always seem to play better in the second half. So I don't know why. It was Bergvand. Very good. Thank you very much. I knew Lunchbox. I thought. I can't remember what it was called. Good regards of his behaviour. Mental health issues should be supportive. He is. Totally agree. We should drop Antonio and play Bowen as a false nine and replace Johnson with Soufal. It's going to be interesting to see what we do with the game on Saturday. We'll have the preview probably on Friday, so get your thoughts then. I'm sure in the next few days we'll find out if anyone's got any knocks or anything as well, which could allude to whether we're going to be playing players or not playing players, but we'll see. Spurs do have Man City next as well, having lost to Southampton and lost to Wolves in the last 2 home games. Next is Man City. Good luck to them. Dawson out, Diop out, so we're just going to play with Zuma. Fair play. Interesting tactic. We just have to support the team to get them through the games. Totally, Ludders. Yeah, totally agree. There's no point moaning about transfers and lack of, that's happened now, and that's beyond our control. What is in our control is getting behind the team that we have. Yes, we've got a small squad. We know we've got a small squad. Yes, we're fighting on, we're fighting on the different fronts with the FA Cup, Europa, Premier League, but the fans are the ones who are going to help get us over the line, get the team over the line. Make such a difference, make a huge difference. We have needed to not lose games is a good thing. I know what you mean. In the bureau. Oz, good afternoon to you. Trips at Newcastle, which is good indeed. Definitely think Johnson in for Soufal. Good luck to him. Russ, I'm disappointed in you. Not unless you meant good luck to... It was a joke. It's a joke. It was like good luck to them, as if because they're going to be playing Man City, who turned over Norwich 4-0 yesterday. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't. I never wish Spurs good luck, unless it was against someone like. No, I wouldn't. I don't think I would. I can't wait to see the Spurs get mullered by Man City. Indeed. Right, let's go for the ratings. So what I tend to do is obviously every week is I give you my ratings and my thoughts. That type of thing. I try and do it straight on, and sometimes I should have probably look at these again and maybe adjust a bit. Anyway, Lucas Fabianski, my thoughts on his performance yesterday. He maybe Maybe could have done better for the goal, the Pereira goal. He could have maybe intercepted that ball better, potentially, or actually intercepted it. Was very close with the Tielemans penalty, which is such a good penalty by Tielemans. He couldn't quite get a hand to it. I thought it played okay. I mean, to be honest, there wasn't really much else to do with Fabianski, really, apart from put the ball out of the net, unfortunately. So I put Fab down as, and feel free to put your scores in the chat as well. I put Fab down as a 6. I thought he played okay. I don't think he did anything that was not noteworthy. That's the wrong expression, but it was a competent game for him. A competent game. Hopefully by the time we play Man City at home, they have won the league already, so we can turn them over. That's the plan. That'd be the plan. 7 for Fabs, NWA says. Europa League round of 32 this week, then the important draw indeed. Paul's gone for 6. Didn't have much to do. They were on top of it for long spells indeed. Yeah, but again, they were on top in the sort of midfieldy sort of final. It wasn't really much for him to do, I thought. Fab 6. I think Ariola might have saved that header. Maybe. Who knows? 7s. 6 is fair. Not good, not bad. I totally agree. The header was top bins. Lucky it was, and I think maybe the ball that went across, I think Fab could have probably, maybe, I don't know, we're splitting hairs really. Afternoon Fred, hope you're well. PCADS has gone for a 6 as well. Let's move on to Soufal. Wasn't his best game at all, as we know. Replaced very early in the 60th. I think he should have been replaced maybe at half time or early on in the second half when it was obvious how they were playing. Clearly the idea, myself and Matt and Anton was saying this in the watch along. They basically told Harvey Barnes to basically stay out wide, and Soufal just couldn't cope with him. Could not cope with him at all. And he got basically torn to shreds by Barnes, I think, pretty much through the whole second half. And he just went through him like butter. It was so easy. I didn't think it was a very good game. Probably his worst game for us, I think, unfortunately. But at least, fair play. At least Moyes changed it up. Maybe he changed it about 15 minutes too late, but he changed it up. So I put Flad for a 4. I think 4 for me is a poor score anyway. Pete's gone for 6.9 for Fabian. No point scores here. No half points. 7. Alfie's gone for 3. 3, I hope you are my friend. Soufal 6 for Ladders. 3 from James. 4 from James Bong. 6 from WHU58. Soufal a 4. Really poor, unusual. Well, I just think that the team at the moment they're just not final cylinders at the moment. Gaz has gone for 5. Freeman's gone for 2. Woods is going to batter Cresswell next week. Can never joke ever, mate. Can never joke ever about them not picking up points for us. Only thing I'd wish was Miss Chlamydia. Lovely. Alfie's gone for 3. PCAD's gone for 4. 1 from Peter. 3 on my days. What happened to him? St Maximan will kill him off if he keeps his place. I won't be surprised if Johnson comes in with St Maximan. Vladdy Lunga. Oh God, that's not fair, is it? Jesus. Below par 5. 5. 4 from Fred. Gatesy, good afternoon to you. Hope you're well, and everyone in the chat. Nice to see you, Gatesy. So I put Vlad for a 4. I thought 4 is a poor score for anyone, I think. Dawson, big Craig Dawson, as I said, is my Valentine's. Desperately in love with Craig Dawson. He's just the gift that keeps on giving, really, isn't he, old Dawes? It's Valentine's Day. Roses are red, violets are blue. Big Dawes scores. Leicester go boo-hoo, I don't know. So big Dawes, big fun. Big fan of Craig Dawson. Love the fact that he is just no nonsense, Ginger Pele-esque, and sometimes it works, and I think sometimes the games like this it really worked. Sometimes it doesn't work in terms of his style, but games like this it certainly did. Well equipped himself, won everything in the air, loads of blocks, loads of interceptions, and just I know it sort of hit his shoulder, but I don't really care because we've had so many for the others go the other ways. I put him down as a 7. Now in the chat, I'm sure we're gonna have 8s. Yep, we got 8s. Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be Gary Breen. There we go, very good. 7 for Donkey, 8 for Dawson, another gold star on Craig's list. 8. Okay, maybe I should have gone for an 8. 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. Our new Ginger Pele. I think so. For 2 million quid. There we go. Indeed, Trippier has broken his foot every cloud. 6 weeks. 6 weeks he's out, Lauren. So he won't be playing on Saturday, thankfully. So big doors to 7. I've gone for a 7. But, 8, you guys say 8, I say 7. Fair enough. Yeah, each their own. A fighter. What was it? Roses of Red, Vites of Blue, Cressy handball, and Dawson 2. There we go. Very well done. Diop. Now, for me, again, I obviously a late replacement for Vazuma. I originally put him down for an 8. Really, I put him down for quite a high score because I thought he's just been dropped straight in and he's done really well. But actually, to be fair, knowing what Moyes said afterwards, it was clear that he wasn't necessarily. He knew there was a chance of him playing anyway. So, and obviously, when we saw Dawson and Diop as a pairing, we were always slightly worried. But actually, those two were extremely solid. It's probably his best game for us for a long time. Technically an early assist for Jarrod Bowen. Came after, obviously, the long pass from him. I thought he coped very well with the pace of Daka as well. He's a very, very rapid player, and I thought he did really well. I've probably been a bit harsh. I put a 7, but I think maybe he's not Zuma. I put a 7, but I think I'm going to change to an 8. I'm going to change to an 8 by seeing what everyone sees in here. Dawes 8 for the extra long sleeves. Good job, Dawes has come back to form. 8, he says. Needs to pack up on Bowen when chasing the game. Diop 7, 9 from Oz, 7 from Ludders, 7 from WHU58, 8 from Bong, 8 from Farmer, 7 from Gaza. Best game ever, says NWO. Yesterday was a bit more like that beast mode. I'm going to call him beast mode because that's with the Mourinho beast mode. So that's why I've put him down for that. Did well for a change, 9. 8.5, no half points here from Fremer. 7 from Alfie. Toby says 8 as well. Got an assist and had to deal with useless fullbacks. Great shout, actually. That's a really good point. 8 from Jay Hammer. Paul Chambers, Issa 8, purely because he is miles better than he's been recently. Indeed, I think, maybe we've gone over the top because he's played so well. He's played better than he usually has played. So where he's playing like a 5, maybe he's playing at a 7, but because he's such a step change, he's got an 8. I don't know. But Diop got to be 9 considering it was his last minute decision and assist from Bowen. But it wasn't a last minute decision by all accounts. That he was told that there was a chance of him not playing anyway. 8 done well, no time to think about it. Well, I think he had a bit of time to think about it, Fred. That's why I put him down for a 7 originally, but I'm going to put him down as an 8 because you're totally right. Someone mentioned the fact was they didn't have good fullbacks. And speaking of the fullbacks, let's talk about Cresswell. He obviously gave away an awful penalty, totally missed track to the ball, missed the flight of the ball, and just very, very poor. He got forward well, he tried. He fluffed a good chance at the end of the first half where the ball came in and he sort of p-rolled it in without necessarily putting any sort of power on it. Maybe, should have, again, particularly the second goal, the Pereira goal, he lost the runner. Disappointing. He could have easily gone off as well as Soufal, to be honest. I put it down as a 5 because where Soufal was just poor the whole game, Cresswell, particularly in the second half, got better because maybe he was playing second half really, and some of the crosses were coming back in a bit more confidence towards the end. What else have we got in here? We've got 3. Shocker from Dave. Cressy for a 6 for Ludders. Hate to say it, but Cress was poor, but still 5. I think you should be able to say it though, to be honest, James, because I think sometimes we're quick enough to praise people when they're having a good match. If they're not having a good match, we say it. And I think that's nothing wrong with that. Worst performance. I think it was probably his worst performance for a long time. I totally agree, George. 4 from Cressy. Would have been a 5 out the City handball. Head went towards the end, I think. Yeah, I agree. James has gone for a 5. Cressy 6 or Crosswell. Very good. Gaza, Cresswell 2. Would have been given 5 if he hadn't wasted that chance. Handball Tourette. It was a bit like a handball. It was like that. It was a bit like a really bad tick. I know what you mean, WHU58. Cresswell, first performance I've seen from him. Looked like Pellegrini esque Pellegrini era Cresswell. 4 from Alfie. As bad as Diop good. That's a good way to say it. I forgot about the assist, maybe a 5 then. Cresswell, the Spanish archer, elbow, very good. Very, very good, elbow. I forgot about the penalty, 4. Cresswell, a bit of a shocker. Yeah, it was just a shocker. Bonehead move of the year from Cresswell. I totally agree. Let's move on. Let's go to Dex. Quiet game from Ricey. Did a lot of was really deep defensively, I thought, and so you missed that sort of marauding runs which he's been doing the last few games at least. He tried, particularly first half, tried to drive the team forward a little bit, and he just didn't. He didn't impose. It was where Rice would impose himself. I think it wasn't as much as last time. I thought personally, and again, some people in the chat will disagree with me. I thought it was an average game from Deck, to be honest. Drove the team forward, but But what I did like about him was, you could see him, if someone wasn't playing well, he was getting them by the shirt collar, and I like that in a captain. So I put a 6. George has put a 6. James Bong's put a 7. 8 for Toby. He was everywhere as usual. Average as George, 7. 6 rather. Rice 6 from Gaza. NWO 6, done very little. Dex 7 from WH58. James Farmer, very, very quiet. Looked good on the right wing when he had a break. Says 6. Ludders gone 7. What's that? There we go. Very quiet. Can I remember one trademark drive? Yeah, he didn't do as many of them. 5 at best. Felt Tiemanns had the better of him. Well, of his usual standard. Yeah, I totally agree. It was like the Diop thing in reverse. He still played well, but we're used to so much better. Exactly, Toby. So it's probably average game, but because he didn't do the Declan Rice things, we put him down a bit, maybe. 7, but by his standards of 5. That's a great shout, Alfie. Paul's gone for a 6. Doesn't have a good enough partner in Souček. Can't carry a team every game. Indeed, lots of side and back passes. 7. Deck should have been yelling. He was yelling quite a bit actually. And Pete's gone for 6 for Pudding Rice. Very good. Next one, let's talk about potato salad. Wasteful, I thought yesterday. Lots of times he lost the ball. But despite the fact he didn't, have as much fluidity in his passing and driving forward, he kept on running, and he always does. And this team never stop. And so, half glass full me. So I thought, he helped the defence, he helped the attack. Obviously, towards the end, he was more in the attacking sense. But many people say, he looked tired and stuff like that. But I think he always looks tired. I think it's just the way he holds himself. Basically, he always looks tired, just because he's quite sort of gangly, but he'll still run 13-15 kilometres a game. So I put him down for a 6. Helen's gone for a 6. What we got here? 4 from George. Daps has gone for a 5. WHU58's gone for a 5. Alfie's gone 5. Gazza's gone for a 5. Toby's gone for a 5. Low on confidence, I think. I just think sometimes the ball just wasn't. Sometimes I just don't think the ball falls to us. Sometimes it always, it was a second ball, wasn't it? It was always the second ball we seemed to lose. First ball, most times we'd get the first ball, but it would drop to someone, and it was the second ball we'd always lose. Souček seems lost. The desire is there, but looks a shell of the player from last year, says James. Jay Hammer's gone for a 6. Paul's gone for a 2. Can't do the basics right at the moment. A shadow of last year. James Bong's gone for a 6. Chris has gone for a 4. PCADS has gone for a 4. Kaiser Machine has gone for a 6. And yeah, let's move on. Let's go to Fornals again. Shadow of himself really used. It wasn't a great performance from Fornals. I think. Second half I forgot he was playing until he took him off at 79 minutes gone. You know what I mean? So didn't we have a lot of possession in the second half? And then what he did, he did not seem at the races at all. And I think the trouble is, usually we get 1 or 2 people who aren't at the races. When we get 4 or 5 at least, that's when we start not performing well. So 4 now, as I put as a 4. I didn't think he had a very good game at all yesterday. And it's a shame. It's a shame. But as I said, I always think, why, and he looked tired. But as I said, the lad's just had a baby. Do you know what I mean? And it does, and it makes a huge difference. It takes you a while to get used to the lack of sleep and things like that for me. And I'm not putting excuses on him, but for someone with so much energy, that would make a huge... If you're not like a massive runner in the game, and so you can still go... his energy levels are what makes him the player he is. So if anything that affects his energy levels will affect his general play and his general effect on the team. So 5, not match fit, match sharp rather. 6 from Ladders, 6 from George. Nails was poor. 5 from MWO, 6 from WH58. Johnson, we'll talk about the other game later, mate. 4 Nails, 5. Why does Moyes not make changes to that? Well, he made a change. He brought Soufal the 60, took off 67th minute for Soufal, and this was at the 79th minute, 80th minute. I know that would be facetious, but he does seem to always make changes very, very late in the game. Young child syndrome thinks he's coping, but he's just knackered. 3 Fornicator, 5 from Bong, 6 from Hammer. He didn't have the. I know he didn't have the baby, but makes a big difference when you're doing the feeds at night and whatnot. 5 from Fornals, all at sort, said Fred. 4 Fornals is the other player who blows hot and cold, says Peter, and gives him a 5. Right, let's move on. Bowen, what can we say about Bowen? Man on fire, he's on fire, as we all know. Continued his fine vein of form with another great finish early on. Maybe we did score too early. Who knows? And I think he scored 7 in 7 now, so it's absolutely on fire. Added an assist to his tally, obviously, with the corner. So a goal and an assist. I put him down as an 8. I thought he played really well. He's a constant threat. Maybe a 7 or 8, I'd say. Constant threat as always. Quieter in the second half, but I think we as a team were quieter in the second half when Leicester really cranked it up. We've got a 9 from Maximilian, a 9 from Kaiser. George has gone for 7. Nudders has gone for 8. Bowen scored, not much else, but then the NWO, that's goal and assist. Got us the 2 goals really, but an 8. So I've same with NWO. 9 from Gaza, 8 from James Bong. 8 from Paul Chambers, our best attacker, but only a 7 yesterday, said James. Bowen, easy 9. Alfie's gone for an 8. It seems about fair. Right, let's move on to the next one. Who's the next one? Lanzini. How do we talk about Manuel Lanzini? So, first half was quite tidy, I thought, but wasn't able to do anything of any, what's the word? Well, there was no. He didn't really create any attacking opportunity. He was tidy. He kept the ball well, but there was nothing he could do. Anyway, it just wasn't clicking for him, and I thought it'd be a good game for him to play because I thought Leicester were going to play quite tight. So actually, that's when I'd always pick Lanzini over Ben Rama for that exact reason, but. Was particularly second half. He did waste the possession. First half was tidy. Second half was a lot. They sort of pressured us a lot with the ball. It seemed when we had the ball in the second half, and Lanzini's crumbled a little bit. I think, to be honest. So I put him down as a 5. What we got? Lanzini more effective as a sub. Yes, he is in the right situations, Paul. I think Lanzini starts when. I would, like the other day, the Watford game, I would have started Lanzini for the Watford game. Watford played with 4 central midfielders, and so in that midfield, so it's really compact. So that's when he's better. Benny is better when the game is looser, I think, because it's more space. There's less, he's got more space to express himself. So Lanzini, 6 from Ludders, didn't even know he was playing until he got subbed. No score, says James Farm. WH58, 6. Bowen got a 9 from Pete. At times, Lanzini was playing a 9, other times a 5. I'm going for a 7 from Toby. 6.5, no half points here, James. Gaz has gone for a 6. Lanzini a 6 from NWO. P. Gads has gone for a 5. Lanzini quiet yesterday, 6. Yeah, I think it's fair enough. Let's talk about Antonio. Obviously, he's a big lad, isn't he? So he's always has that. I don't think we exploited the fact that Leicester had this sort of, almost a makeshift. I did have Amate, who's more a central defensive midfielder playing centre back. I don't think we exploited that as much. The fact is their whole left back their whole sort of back four has been sort of decimated. He's all sort of coming back, and over Fafana's back in training and stuff. But we really didn't push on. There was an option there to really get going. We just didn't make it. What have I put in my notes? A good couple of runs in the first half, I think, particularly against the back line. He had the pace of them, that was sure. But because he's doing these runs, he always struggles to get in that goal scoring opportunity. So there wasn't really any sort of Antonio goal chances, really. A lot of running, but not really sort of being the goal scorer, the top Premier League goal scorer for West Ham of all time. He wasn't really showing that. There was, I think, in the second half where he got to the byline and crossed it, and I think it ended up going for a throw on the other side. It was a very, very poor cross, and I just don't think I feel sorry for him, because I don't think we're, as a team, we rely on him as an outlet, and I think we were using that outlet too obviously, so he was obviously being tracked quite a lot. So I put him down as a 5. What we got here? Antonio 6, 5 from George, 6 from Antonio. Flashes the beast. Yeah, I mean, he'd always be physically dominating when it comes to those centre back positions. Be interesting to see when he comes against Newcastle, because Dan Burns a big lump as well, isn't he? He's a big lump, so it'll be quite interesting. Antonio 6. James Antonio 0 to 7, all of the scores and none of the scores indeed. George gone for 5, Gaz has gone for a 6, Maximilian 6. Don't think he was as bad as he's been recently. Yeah, I know what you mean. Antonio looked tired, said Kaiser. I think he's similar to Souček. I think just the way he holds himself, always looks tired. Like literally when he runs on the pitch, he looks tired. But I just think that's him. But he still played 90 minutes yesterday. No service to him, so cannot rate him. I totally agree. Antonio 5 from WH58. Moyes gets a 2 for Antonio. Not his fault, but he can't be rested. Moyes has 3 windows to buy a forward. Indeed, Peter 5, Alfie 5. Kevin from Jamaica, the service Antonio has been getting lately has been awful, and it's not about giving him the ball in the final third, it's all about Bowen. Antonio 7. And 4 from Paul. The team does not do enough to supply him. If Lingard were here, him and Fornals Benny would be better. Antonio 6. Someone needs to linger around him. Antonio needs a game or two at right back to recharge. Yeah, because he played right back towards the end. It was almost like going back to his roots, wasn't it? But yeah, I totally agree. He just looks, again, he's a confidence player. Couple of goals, and he's like, look at Diop. Diop has been playing crap for a lot of this season. Yesterday, he was back to, almost beast mode. He was getting there. And I think Antonio's the same. I think Antonio needs he needs to play someone and score a few goals, and first he needs to score them first, but then the confidence of him, and he'll be brushing people off like he did before. He's very much a confidence player. Right, subs. Let's talk about Fredericks quickly. Obviously, he came on to counter the fact that basically Harvey Barnes was absolutely tearing Soufal a new one, and it worked. Then Barnes had to come in. They took off Madison, brought Lookman on, put Barnes into the middle because they couldn't cope, because they knew that Fredericks had the pace to cope with Barnes. So that made them make a change as well, which was good. I always like it when we make a change and then they react, which I thought was well. I thought he played well. And I thought he played well when he came on. I think Fredericks, he's again a confidence player, but I think if he's used in the right context, he's very, very good. I think he can be very, very good. I put him down as a 6. I just think he played well. Lallana's gone for 6. 6 from Daps. Should start next game. Interesting. So you'd start him over maybe Johnson at right back. Interesting. Frederick 6 from Toby. Stopped Barnes by being there, but still got a bent foot. Frederick 7. Good afternoon, Rich. Hope you're well, my friend. WG58's gone for a 6. Fred's a 5. George is a 6. Antonio 5. Not been good since signing new contract. Always the way though, isn't it? Always the way, Pete. Because he dropped his form about 3 months ago, really. And when Moyes said he's had his contract signed for a couple of months, that usually happens, isn't it? When they sign a new contract, they then sort of relax. Pigad's gone 6. I'll start with him and Ben Johnson next game. Johnson on the left. There we go. Johnson not starting because not signing contract. I think but we've got the extension option. We've got an extension on his contract anyway. So whether that's been exercised, I think it probably has been exercised, but not announced. But who knows? That's what I was led to believe. Vlasic. I mean, he came on. He didn't do loads. He only had 30 minutes, but he put himself about a bit. He had a go. Fair play. Didn't do anything bad. Didn't do anything necessarily fantastic. So I put him down as a 6. I thought he came on and he tried to make things happen. Did a lot of tracking back. There was also, Bowen did a lot of tracking back. I remember a tackle we did in the second half where it was almost on our goal line. I thought, he did really well. Toby Vlasic did okay. 6. Maybe we should stop contract negotiation halfway through the season. I think it's a great idea. Ladders has gone for a 6. Didn't notice him, but 6 from Kaiser. 7 from James Bong. 6 from WHU58. Vlasic, good. He does have good energy. He's always having a go, and he's trying. He is trying, that's for sure. Gaz has gone for a 6, but it was a roll of the dice, isn't it? We had to get him off. It was like for like. There was nothing necessarily fundamentally exciting with the changes apart from taking 2 people who weren't playing well and replacing them with 2 people who could probably play better. But it looks like 6 is the average score for that, and I think that's pretty average. And last one, Benny. Considering he was only on for 30 minutes, he managed having like 3 shots on goal, something like that. Looked a lot better. It does frustrate me at times. In terms of how much ball he does give away. And when you're trying to chase a game, it does frustrate me at times. But it's the good with the bad, because then he's trying things and and he'll be the one who unpicks the lock. So I'm always a big fan of Benny. Where I think Vlasic is quite industrious, I think Benny is arguably our most skillful player we've got in the club. Well, in the first team. I think Ockerflex is a fantastically skillful player as well. Maybe not to the level of Benny, but getting there. The problem with teams have now sussed out Cress's overlaps, so we are getting less crossings. But great shout. There is definitely a lack of crossing compared to the beginning of the season. Vlasic is a worker, not sure of the quality. Puts a shift in, indeed, and isn't it? For us, as long as that's the first tick, they put a shift in, and there's no time, any of them really, where you've questioned their commitment. Maybe not their ability, but their commitment. And for me, that's the first tick. Then it's about the ability. When play stops, the clock should also stop, so there's less time wasting. Interesting. Yeah, very true. Very, very true. 8 for Benny. He turned the tide when he came, and I put Benny down for a 6 because I thought he didn't really have enough to impose, but he had a bloody good go. Needs to look for the pass into the box. Yes, I know what you mean. And and I think it's the positives and the negatives of having Benny in your team, in that he can offer you so much, but sometimes he can be very frustrating. Same as Antonio. He has one of the worst. Someone put in the chat yesterday, Antonio's first touch is so bad that his second touch is a tackle, and that's so true. But then in 5 minutes later, he'll then basically bulldoze. So you have to take the positives and negatives and weigh them out. I think that's the same with Benny and a lot of our players at the moment. Benny 7, Benny 8, great cameo, shots on goal. 1 scored from last one, indeed. Never actually looked like scoring or creating a goal. I think Benny should have started. Yes, maybe. Randolph to be a daddy. Is he impregnating Alexandra Burke? Fair play to him. Benny grafted, had a go indeed. Recently, no under 23s would be on the bench. I've noticed that. Yeah, exactly. It's almost like I don't know whether it's a fact of scheduling as well, because there seems to be the way the under 23s are scheduled at the moment. But you would think. I mean, he's not going to throw an Okaflex over a Vlasic. Which is a shame because he should. Because I mean, we talk about energy, we talk about having a go, commitment. Throw a couple of these boys on, they're going to have commitment and they're having a go. Benny's energy is as good when he came on. Was very good. Benny's shooting wide. It is. I know what you mean, and that's what I mean. You sort of take the good with the bad. We don't shoot from distance anywhere. You're right. We try and cut inside far too much. And if the other day, the Watford goal, when Bowen shot, that was taking a long range shot, so to speak, and he took a deflection. So there we go. Why two? I don't know, Ian. Surely you'd put one keeper on the bench, or maybe it was a fact of because Zuma was then out. They had to fill the bench. David Martin's always travels, so that may have happened, or that may have been a case. But if you knew that, that was going to happen, and then the Zuma thing, surely you would have just brought in one of the under 23s. I don't know. But I mean, at the end of the day, a point. We're fourth, 41 points. We're Man United are behind us, 1 point with a couple of games in hand, one game in hand. Spurs a couple of games in hand, and then it's Arsenal and Spurs. Wolves, I think we have to watch out for as well. I mean, even Brighton are heading up there. They're doing all right at the moment. So it's but we're still picking up points. We're not playing well. We're still picking up points. The West Ham of old would have lost that game. Would have been out of the cup. We had probably got a 0-0 draw at Watford, and we are picking up. We are picking up points, which is important. So, 1 point gained, 2 points lost. Again, looks at your perspective. Starting off the first half the way we did, 2 points lost. But towards the end, having got the 89th minute equaliser, 1 point gained. So it's what it is. I agree with Antonio's first touch. He needs to work on that. Well, I think now it's a case, Kevin. He's 30 odd years old now. I don't think he's going to work on that touch. He's not going to magically find a first touch now. So it's about how you work around that issue. Do you know what I mean? So maybe it is about not putting it to his feet, but actually letting him just run ahead and going for that long ball, because that's what they were doing. Leicester were doing. They're doing the same thing with us, trying to get that ball over the top for Daka, because he is rapid to sort of chase onto it. And to be fair, Diop matched him for pace. Really, it'd be interesting to see what happens with the Newcastle game now in terms of who we play. Considering the team that Newcastle, we've got a rough idea of the team Newcastle put out as well. Doesn't like anyone's got any knocks, as I said. Moyes said that Zuma had an illness. He was sick the day before, so hopefully he'll recover from that in time for the game on Saturday as well. And that's your lot, ladies and gents. As I said, if you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe, all that good stuff. The West Ham Weekly will be on tomorrow night, I believe, with Stelios. Stelios will be on tomorrow night. Let me turn your attention to the charity walk that me and John Matomsky are doing on the 19th of March for Irons Food Banks. If you go into ironsfoodbanks.co.uk, you can donate there. We're doing it from Wembley, London Stadium to the Bowling. It's a lot longer than I realised, but I am fully committed to it now, so I might have to start some walking and do some training, but that'd be good. And on Wednesday, we've got Poppy Cleal, who is she's a 50 caps for England. She is England Player of the Year. She's Six Nations Player of the Year, leading all-time Premier League try scorer, and also was nominated for World Player of the Year last year. More importantly, she's a West Ham fan, so we've got Poppy coming on doing a Hammers 11 later in the week, which would be nice. I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, as I said, if you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. Maybe considering becoming a member, hitting that join button. We've got over 50 odd members on the channel. We'd like to thank all of them personally at the end of each show. So take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Come on your irons. And I'll see you again very, very soon. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Nothing ever stays the same once you let it It's like a family tree, part of you